So this is the story about how I almost lost myself and how nihilism is a seductive pill to take, but it is not the answer to your issues in life, and it won't help you solve any of the problems you're currently facing. When I was in my 20s, I became a little jaded, to say the least. Both in high school and in college, I was friends with kids that were older than me, and eventually they graduated and left me behind. I found myself kind of stuck in a rut, stuck in a pattern of trying to complete my classes while also working and trying to engage in extracurricular activities. But I was facing a lot of what I know now is burnout, and I didn't understand what I was feeling or going through. Those who knew me during those years noticed that I was getting shorter with people, that I was getting grumpier, that I was being more of a recluse in my apartment. And I would like to say once I left college, things got better, but unfortunately, that was not the case. I moved to the big city and got an apartment with a mutual friend. And while I was there, I was working a kind of dead-end job at a grocery store and trying to do some YouTube editing and script writing on the side to make ends meet. I enjoyed my time being able to do those things. I enjoyed being able to be creative and make a few extra dollars here and there. But once again, I found myself stuck in this cycle of waking up and going to a train and taking that train for an hour and then walking 20 minutes to my office building and wasting away in there all day and then walking back to the train and taking it back an hour, trying to knock out some side projects and side gigs for extra money when I got home before I inevitably collapsed just from being so exhausted, only to wake up and have to do all of that all over again. At that time, my mentality really started to shift, and I would have considered myself a nihilist if you would have asked me. Now, nihilism is closely related to the doomer mentality or the black pill mentality. It's kind of the viewpoint that nothing really matters. Life kind of just happens at you, and we're all just stuck here dealing with it. I really fell into the trap of being caught in this nihilistic mentality where I felt like nothing I did or wanted really mattered, and I was kind of a victim of circumstance when it came to life. The economy wasn't in a great place, and my apartment rent was increasing year over year. On top of that, my romantic relationships were not successful. People would present themselves as one thing, and then when I really got to know their personality or their values, they didn't align with what I wanted, with what I thought I needed. Throw into this the fact that I had to leave that job for a better paying sales job over the phone. And you can imagine my mentality suffered a little bit, even though I was making slightly more. Looking back on it, I really feel like nihilism became a crutch. It kind of became a catch-all term for how I was feeling, all these negative emotions that I was experiencing, that I was trying to process in a very ineffective way. I would just try to kind of hand wave away by saying, it is what it is. That's life. That's just the hand I was dealt. And I realize now, years later, that I was going through a pretty bad depressive episode. I was feeling pretty bad about myself, and I was eating poorly and not really working out. I kind of felt stuck in this endless loop of frustration and sadness and isolation. And that, of course, wasn't helped when my roommate had to leave, when he had to move back home to help take care of his parents. And I found myself working a night job, completely isolated, completely alone, and completely bitter towards the world around me. Now, I know today a lot of people experience a similar thing. Without getting too political or anything, the world is in a chaotic state at this moment. There's a lot of unrest, and a lot of people don't agree with how things are going or how they should be going. Add on top of that fears of conflict or war, and the fact that we are coming off of the big shared indoors bad time that we all experienced in 2020 that I can't name or YouTube gets mad. And it's no wonder that the youth of today, that those younger than me, feel disillusioned with life at all. I guess what I'm here to say is that it's natural for you to feel a little nihilistic, a little doomer about the current state of the world or the current things you're experiencing. But as somebody who experienced something similar, I do want to let you know that this nihilism, this black pill mentality, is not going to help you. You may feel like you can't do anything, that the deck has been stacked against you, and that there is no possible way for you to overcome, let alone win. But what I can tell you is that by indulging in this nihilistic mindset, believing that small voice inside of you saying you can't do anything, you are just letting yourself submit to that narrative. It's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what it did for me. My nihilism told me that I couldn't do anything different, that I couldn't elevate my position, that I couldn't get a better job or make my life better, that I couldn't find a relationship where somebody would really see me and understand me, and that I would never be able to do any of these things that I deep down wanted to do, like being creative or making videos of my own. And if I had believed all that, if I had really subscribed to that nihilistic self-talk, then I probably would be in a pretty terrible position today, or even worse. I'm a pretty anxious person. I have come to find out I do suffer from depression. And nihilism was my way of trying to deal with all of this anxiety, all of these negative emotions that were pooling inside of me that I didn't know how to process. But at the end of the day, me having a nihilistic approach to everything was just a coping mechanism because I was afraid. I was afraid to really try and possibly fail. Like, what if I wanted something to be better in my life? What if I wanted to try and make my position at work better? Or I wanted to try and get a better job? Or I wanted to try and chase my dreams of being a content creator, and I failed? What if I tried to find a partner and was rejected? It was easier for me, safer for me, to just sit in my bunker of nihilism and let the world happen to me. But it wasn't really the answer, and it took me a long time to be able to find that out. I needed to try things. I needed to fail at things, and I needed to look at why I failed at them and try better the next time. I needed to build up discipline so that I could push through things even when I didn't feel like it or didn't want to, so that I could train myself to get better. I needed to put myself out there, grow more at work professionally, and grow more socially as well. All of these things were terrifying, and my doomer mentality, my nihilism, was telling me the whole time, this is a waste of time. This isn't going to amount to anything. The world is a mess right now, and you're tilting against windmills, doing pointless stuff that won't change anything. And it feels like that sometimes. It feels like that when you're struggling, when you're scared, when you aren't sure if you're doing the right thing. But as somebody who went through it, as somebody who struggled with it for many years and has now come out on the other side in a new state, in a new career field, in a new creative pursuit, in a new relationship that not only blossomed into the best relationship with another human being I've ever had, but also a marriage, I can tell you, it was not easy, but it was worth it. I don't regret any part of it other than the fact that I did not start trying to make the change sooner. And I say trying because it won't be perfect. You won't get it right the first time. But the more you stick at it, the more you push through, the more you try to fight these doomer, nihilistic feelings, the better you will be at the end of the day. I know it's not easy. I know you won't be perfect and you will have missteps along the way. But what I can tell you is that if you're able to do this, if you're able to give yourself this gift, you will be so thankful one day that you did. It's truly the best thing I ever did for myself, and I want that for each and every one of you listening to this. So if you found this video today, if this resonated with you at all, then I would challenge you to try and fight that nihilistic mentality. Fight these doomer tendencies we all have these days. And just know, when things get hard, when things look bleak, when things feel absolutely hopeless, at the bare minimum, you have some strange guy on the internet playing Borderlands 1 that believes in you. I know you can do this. If I could, any of you can. And just know I'm here every step of the way, rooting you on. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video today. If you have any questions for me on this or any other topic, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And as always, make sure to eat well, stay hydrated, take care of yourself and those around you. And I'll see you in the next one, friends.